I want to do this video today because I'm selling a Roman country ball and a Mongolia country ball, two of the biggest empires in history. But time is running out to get these two before they are gone forever. Just like in reality, these empires will never be revived, no matter how much we want it in our hearts. So check that first link in the description down below to makeship.com to reserve yours today. And there's a discount if you purchase both. So a bunch of modern day countries just died, and that obviously had to be the case reviving these two here in 2024. Funny enough, even with this change, Russia is still the second biggest nation on Earth. We'll see how long that lasts. Meanwhile, Rome here is in 7th place, and honestly, I kind of worry about their chances. I guess they're gonna have to eat up a lot of these European nations, and luckily their capital is pretty safely hidden on this peninsula. But there will likely be many wars between the Mongols and the Romans. Two peoples I never thought would come together. Mongolia might slightly have the advantage here. I've done this simulation before, but everything's so different in the World War Simulator. Let's see exactly how it plays out here as all of these sea tiles are being eaten up. A big one to watch for is to see where the Romans get as, in terms of at least like the Atlantic, they're obviously gonna get that ocean. And will the Mongols finally be able to figure out that whole boat thing to Japan? Not one, but two different typhoons ruin their invasion in history, but that is extremely unlikely to happen here today. They could also grab Taiwan. There are some big players here that could get in their way, like India and Russia. Wait, what? I thought I accidentally deleted Australia. No, Australia just collapsed instantly to New Zealand. No way. I was literally just gonna say maybe Australians can come out from the corner of the map and cause the Mongols some issues. I don't think I've ever seen Australia fall that fast. Love that East Timor here is getting a little bit of something, even if it's just like useless Australian desert. So right now the Romans are going to border the Canadians out here in the Atlantic. We'll see if they get their revenge on the German barbarians, or will Rome split into a Western and Eastern Rome? In this case, in this scenario, I don't give the Byzantiums too much credit, just because I know the Mongols will be looking to eat them right here. Of course, India is about to crush Pakistan, who they have their capital kind of hidden behind Mongolian territory. Not sure how well that's going to go. Puerto Rico just randomly conquered Dominican Republic, and the Germans weren't captured by the Romans. It was the Czechs for some reason. We need to keep in mind the Celts in Ireland and Scotland are gonna have to face the Romans once again in 2024. We'll see if they fight naked again. I would not be surprised. India actually is having a little bit of trouble against Pakistan. Really want to know who's going to ally to the Mongolians or the Romans here. We're still a little bit too early for a lot of alliances, but we'll get there. With a lot of North Africa having to fall to the Roman territory, there's just one big nation called North Africa, which is just the Sahara Desert. They shouldn't really be that powerful, but I'm sure they will be in this game. India pieced out with Pakistan. They're not going to, oh wow, they've got like no money. Finally figured out how to make sure the map goes across from the other side. This is the Solomon Islands, so it is possible for the South Americans to attack Oceania. New Zealand's gonna have to capture the Solomon Islands first, though. Also, currently, Russia borders the United States over here. I love that switch. Mongolia will probably take that position from them, but I don't really know. It's possible that Russia maybe gets an alliance with Mongolia to keep themselves safe for now. Oh man, the US already destroyed Canada. That means the Romans are gonna get more territory in the Atlantic, but they're also gonna be bordering the US. Belize just took a bunch from Mexico. So much has already happened in this map. Okay, I think there goes Thailand. So Myanmar, I think, was the one to do the capturing there. Still no war between the Mongolians and the Romans. Maybe they don't feel threatened enough to do it. Mongolia is still #1, but the US is very close behind. Actually, did the US even capture all the Canadians? Yeah, they did pretty much. Mongolia is going to remain the #1 nation for now, but quickly the US is catching up. These two empires just like randomly came back tomorrow. I'd imagine the US would feel very threatened. Taking out Canada absolutely would be like step #1. Like, all right, guys, that's enough up there. Oh, finally, so we actually have the Romans attacking Saudi Arabia, but I don't think it's really going that well. Now, Chad is attacking North Africa. Also, the Congo took out South Sudan, I believe. Also, Guyana, little old Guyana, who I guess, oh, Venezuela was finally destroyed. It was Brazil that wanted Guyana all along. Mauritania moving in after Western Sahara. They've somehow still survived against the attack that Morocco gave them. Ooh, Russia making some moves, grabbing the tail of Norway and getting a little bit more of these islands up here. Vietnam just navally hops to Malaysia. They almost have Singapore, not quite though. Holy crap, this is a pretty scary Indonesia now without the threat of Australia being here. Ooh, and it's Papua New Guinea that now wraps around the globe and technically borders Peru. It's about time. Mongolia's first war is against China, but I think they were at war with Myanmar before that. Wait, is this an alliance? Yeah, this had to have been an alliance. They got themselves, okay, so clearly the Asian powers were pretty threatened by Mongolia. There might be a couple of powers threatened by Rome too, but not quite as scared because they're not that big. This is the first real true test for Mongolia. The one thing I love about this game though is you never know who's going to win. Just because Mongolia is huge and they have a big economy, well, they just pieced out, doesn't mean they actually lost land to Taiwan. Who knew the little island would do so much? Getting their revenge for mainland China because obviously they were forced to collapse. Love how closely the Mongolian Empire, if you look at the real life map, I mean, obviously the Mongols were not going the Himalayan forest. They weren't going over that. So it's kind of easy to redraw these borders. Finally, Ethiopia has their port here as they attacked Djibouti, and they might even take over Sudan as well. Ethiopia fan favorite, bam, they did just get a lot bigger. Whoa, India. India's pretty distracted. India just got collapsed collapsed by Nepal. I guess they were pretty distracted by trying to just kill Pakistan. They had no forces defending the Himalayan warriors. And this is actually a pretty bad thing if you're Mongolia, because the coalition against you has just gotten a whole lot larger. Even New Zealand is in that coalition. Okay, so these teams are getting really big. There's no limit to however many people want to join your alliance, they can join in. Also, the collapse of the Congo just occurred, so everyone that bordered them is getting even bigger. Mexico going in after the US, but now they're getting pushed back to their territory. They had a lot of modern day Texas. We also have Saudi Arabia moving in. Oh, they're not going to be able to take the Iraqi capital. Still no friends out of Mongolia or Rome just yet. Oh yeah, actually Rome is allied to all of the Baltics. Every single one. How did they get all three? That's impressive. Meanwhile, Sweden just died, and Czechia just took out Poland, I believe. Oh, Rome did take out finally the Celts. Oh, they finally got their revenge over the British Isles. They have all of Ireland and all of Scotland. That happened, I think, a minute ago. I just wasn't paying attention. Brazil, once again, fighting all of these Spanish-speaking nations. Well, actually, that's except for, I think this is French Guyana. Oh, that's Suriname, whatever. Close enough. Well, it's going to be close. Bolivia very close to that Brazilian capital, but now they're getting pushed back. Brazil also focused on getting into continental Africa. They're very close. Cuba has been taken over, or at least the eastern side of Cuba by Jamaica, and now everyone's attacking Haiti. Ooh, the Romans allying to North Africa. That's an interesting choice there. I saw them feeding money. Also cool with a lot of, wait a second, so clearly the Finns are, wait a second, they're like memes about Finland and Mongolia. Anyways, Finland just kicked out Mongolia a little bit out of the European continent. It's still kind of Europe because the way these mountains are the thing that divides it. Oh, Mongolia joined the coalition against them. It wasn't exactly a coalition against them, but that's what it kind of looked like. So now Mongolia is friends with Japan, New Zealand, Philippines, Taiwan. This is weird. Finland's now going after Norway. Finland famously defeated the Russians in the Winter War, and now they at least kind of punched Mongolia in the mouth. Again, never underestimate the Finns. The Romans took out the Netherlands, and now they're going after the Nordics, maybe the Vikings. Oh man. And there we go. So Finland helped them defeat the Vikings. They wanted to be the only true empire, the big empire in Europe, I guess. That's just Rome. Well, besides Mongolia, technically they're in Europe. I feel like the Romans probably wouldn't like the Vikings very much. I think we actually know that kind of for a fact. East Timor has been taken out by Indonesia. Indonesia getting extremely big over here. Also, South Africa doing pretty well in South Africa. Brazil just barely holding on because Suriname is, I guess they mean business. Mexico is like the small, what do you call it? I don't know, small thing that's keeping the U.S. from really starting to snowball, because if Mexico falls, they're going to eat up a lot of these nations down here. The U.S. tried to attack Greenland, but nothing happened from that. Saudi Arabian Empire actually, I think, kicked the Romans out a little bit. They now have a lot of the Middle East here. Ooh, big war for Mongolia with Rome, Russia, Finland, and Czechia all trying to kick out the horse people, the nomads, what else? Genghis Khan descendants. You know, this could really happen if like everyone that descended from Genghis Khan, because like every 1 out of 20 people have ancestry to Genghis Khan. If all those people just woke up one day and said, hey, let's redo this could happen right here in 2024. I've got no doubt about that. Oh man, look at New Zealand feeding because, oh, are they involved too? Yes, Japan is actually helping out Mongolia. Holy crap. Mongolia is pushing inside of Rome. They took a lot of the eastern part of Rome, Byzantium. They actually took Constantinople. What would the Mongolians rename that to? There goes Brazil, so things have changed a lot in South America. It's actually fighting between Chile and Peru, and I guess the winner is going to border Papua New Guinea. Big scary Papua New Guinea. This is very scary if you are a part of the Russian-Roman alliance and Finnish alliance. Doesn't Russia say they're descendants from Rome? I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they're allied. Everyone says they're descendants from Rome, though. Technically speaking, the U.S. is still #1 in terms of land area. Russia's 3rd. Rome's actually fallen quite a bit. That's crazy. North Africa, this random new nation that popped up, they are technically bigger than Rome at its current state. And if Russia falls to the Mongolians here, which that looks like it's dangerously close to happening, then I think the Romans are going to have no chance of coming back. There go the Russians. Now, Japan's going to steal this away. If the U.S. comes and fights the Mongolians, that's the only way I think Rome can be saved. Oh boy, there's still fighting happening in Europe, though. Maybe Finland can pull some crazy things out and save the Romans. Maybe the Saudi Arabians will join in. It'd be a second front that they would need to open. I think the Romans gained a little bit of extra ground, though. Man, Rome's going to need some extra friends. Maybe they can ally to the U.S. Rome's really just aiding North Africa, trying to get them bigger down here in this continent, but they really need to worry more about this. Oh, Bhutan trying to fight off Nepal as best as they can. The Argentinians now are trying to rise out of the South American continent and be the new Brazil. Of course, Argentina is not a fan of Brazil. They're probably really happy in their death. Ooh, the Romans are fighting the U.S. How did this happen? Okay, well, maybe North Africa can save. I guess it was probably because of North Africa they pulled them into a war. Oh, there's like a North American Union happening. The Romans are actually pushing in the Atlantic. This is not gaining them any more power, though, getting these sea tiles. But if they can get to Newfoundland, I feel like this is not what you need to be doing doing? Now you are fighting two fronts. Okay, that's really not good. Finland's also getting pushed back. They had to move their capital back. There go the Baltic states. Oh my goodness. This is kind of what I thought was going to happen, but I'm not sure. Let's see if it's still going to be hard to get to the Roman city though, the Roman capital. They have to drive down this entire peninsula. That won't be easy. With North Africa as an ally, that'll kind of keep them a little bit safer. They're definitely losing mainland Turkey, I think, at some point. Wow, Mongolia has just way too many friends. They literally only have to worry about one front. Ooh, Mongolia, oh, I guess I should say Japan is now fighting the US. World War II all over again. Who's going to get blown up? Who's going to get nuked twice? Doesn't really matter, but I'm still curious. Mongolia is the richest nation on earth, then it's the US, then it's Japan, and then Ethiopia in fourth. Let's go, Ethiopia. There goes the fall of, or actually, no, Central African Republic took out, oh, and they're taking out a lot of people. Okay, so they're becoming kind of a power here with the East African Federation. That's what I'm calling them. At some point, Greenland took out Iceland. Greenland's like a pretty strong, Greenland and Mexico, I should be saying, keep the US at bay, although Mexico's friends with them. The US is trying to do a little bit of Asian expansion, but they actually didn't get to continental Asia. They didn't get to this part of Siberia. Chad was just conquered by Ethiopia now, and now Uganda's moving down south. Oh, actually, they took out Madagascar. Now they're technically can attack Indonesia. This alliance is way too powerful. They can't keep going. Romans, they have to ally to the US. That's really the only way, but I don't think they're going to do that. They probably don't want to do that. The Argentinians are getting kicked back out by the Bolivians. Meanwhile, we have a very big Uganda. Slowly, they're moving their way down. Nepal's attacking Sri Lanka. Also, Saudi Arabia almost someone got taken out over here. Oh, it was Kuwait. Okay, that was really fast. Now we have Mongolia trying to eat Nepal. Look at little old Nepal go. They're fighting on 3 different fronts, but they're still going. Oh, there we go. Mongolia just lost all their allies. Okay, that's a little bit more fair. Rome still has North Africa, and for some reason, Czechia and Finland. Finland, who's basically just Norway at this point. I'm sure they love that. The US trying to beat back Greenland, but it's not working. Oh, there goes North Africa. They lost a lot of territory, but now they're coming back. Nepal's trying their best. Oh my goodness, someone's taking some. Oh wow, it's Angola. Angola they almost kicked out Uganda. They're not running out of money. There's a couple nations left, and there are alliances all around. Wow, look at this big Roman alliance here. Rome might have a chance of maybe like annexing some of the lower powers. I don't know if they're big enough though. I think North Africa is stronger than them. When we get to the late game, people just start getting like unionized and things like that. Did Mexico? I think. Wait, no. Did Mongolia? Mongolia went to war. What am I saying? Briefly went to war against Japan. Now they border the U.S. Things are going to get really interesting in the Bering Strait between Siberia and Alaska. There we go. Another war. Oh man. Okay. Mongolia's really trying to get to Alaska. Big power out of Guyana. They actually took over most of the Caribbean, and Bolivia has now taken over Argentina and Chile. Okay, Bolivia very much has the chance to come out on top in South Africa, but we'll see. They got to take out Peru. Is there finally going to be a winner decided in this part of sub-Saharan Africa? I feel like it's been going back and forth for a while now. Ethiopia is still going. Oh my goodness. Okay, the Romans just lost Iberia. We're really just seeing the collapse of Rome all over again. Can anyone catch Mongolia? They are double the size of the US and Indonesia. They're kind of going back and forth. I feel like Nepal is actually giving Mongolia a lot of issues for now. I mean, they're trying to crush them down, but they just can't get to that capital. Mongolians have finally landed in Japan. It's about time, but we'll see if they actually get to Tokyo. Again, Mongolia with no alliances for now. Rome's got plenty of alliances. Who is this nation? Oh wow, Panama. I was like, who is this green? Wow, they're doing pretty good. And I think, is Peru finally going to fall? They're trying to move through those. Is this the Andes? Bolivia's trying their best. Landlocked nation. They're doing pretty all right for now. Romans really need to try to get out. If the Mauritanians collapse due to Togo or Togo, then maybe they can get back Iberia. Oh, they need to really worry about the Mongolians. Now, North Africa is feeding them money. There goes Finland. They're true starting ally. Ooh, the US is kind of helping out Rome by attacking Mauritania here. Might be a good thing for Rome to no longer be bordering the US. Mongolians are fighting again in the Bering Strait. They're getting really close to Alaska. They've officially landed in Alaska, and they pieced out, but that's going to be a problem. Oh, they already went back to war. Holy crap, Angola. Look at Angola go. They're all, okay, so now Mauritania is allied to Rome and North Africa because they're trying to stop Angola. Rome again trying to push out I mean, it's incredible. The Romans they're not falling to the Mongolians. They actually got back a lot of Turkey. Can't believe they're still holding on. Again, another war. The Romans are just, okay, they did lose a lot of territory there. I'll say that. How did Guyana just get this part of Florida, central Florida? Bolivia has finally just decided to ally to Peru. US is having problems. They're fighting multiple fronts right now. No longer, oh, they still are allied to Mexico. I thought briefly they weren't. Indonesia could definitely give. It's gonna have to be Indonesia, and for some reason the Philippines, who barely even controls the original Philippine islands. Maybe Japan too. No, Japan's actually allied to Mongolia. Oh crap. Oh, Rome just lost their capital. Rome has moved their capital to well, okay, they're dead. Okay, well, they moved briefly to Iceland, and the Romans are officially gone. Holy crap. Who is going to stop the Mongol horde? That's exactly why I made the plushie so big, because as we can see, there goes North Africa. It's gonna have to be the US. The US doesn't look quite as strong. Actually, the Mongolians got even more of Alaska now. I did Mauritania ran to South America. Not sure how they did that. They got kicked kicked out of continental Africa. Ethiopia is still going somehow. No way. I would love to see Mauritania take over all of South America just because this is so crazy. Wow, Nepal is still going. Nepal is actually pushing back Indonesia. Indonesia took out New Zealand. Also, Indonesia looks like they could get to South America next too. There goes Mauritania. Okay, they finally fell. We're down to 12 nations, and there's kind of like 4 big alliances for now. Those alliances always break down though. Mongolia is just unbelievably huge right now, so everyone's gonna have to combine basically to do this. How is Mexico way larger than I don't understand. The US looks bigger. Whatever. Indonesia's trying to get to that South American capital. It is Bolivia that took over the continent. Oh man, and Mongolia just annexed diplomatically Nepal, so that means they have all of South Asia. Angola's doing the same thing. Angola's the big force in Africa. Well, if they eventually take out Ethiopia, they'll probably eventually do that. Can anyone stop the Mongol horde? Is it only America? I mean, America doesn't even look that strong, to be honest. It doesn't look like it will be America. There's only 7 nations left. You guys gotta stop fighting each other. Also, they're just growing more and more in Alaska. Someone's gotta annex some smaller powers if you guys even want to have a chance. This is literally 19. Okay, well, it depends. If Mongolia continues to get themselves in war, who is still feeding Mongolia? Oh, it's Bolivia. They're allied to the other corner nation. I guess that does make sense, kind of. Bolivia might get accidentally annexed. Mongolians now entering into continental Canadian territory. Oh man, and the Indonesian capital just fell. The Mongolians have entered Washington. Oh my goodness, I was gonna say Washington State, but also Washington DC. Pretty much everyone. I don't know why Bolivia is still on Mongolia's side. I guess they're fine with being just like this slave power. Mongolia is running out of a lot of money. Oh my goodness. Does somebody have more gold? Indonesia technically has more gold. This might, we don't know. This is gonna be a very interesting finish. Oh man, and Indonesia's safely tucked behind in the corner of the map. They could technically have problems with Bolivia if they finally make it to Oceania. Okay, so there goes the only front. Bolivia just collapsed. They've got no money. That's huge because that's the big power that's feeding Mongolia. Oh boy. We might have an upset on our hands. Who will do it though? Bolivia, again, did the alliance break down? The alliance is still there. But does Angola have much money to continue this war? And they continue to fund this? Indonesia definitely does. And Mexico kind of does. Don't give away all your money. Oh man. Tick. Okay, they briefly ran out of money. And Angola made them pay for that. Oh, there goes Bolivia. Bolivia's gone. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're gonna peace out. They're gonna try to continue to peace out. Now, Mongolia can still win this, but they're gonna lose a lot of territory because I don't think these 3 nations are gonna let off the gas. They are going to wait until Mongolia is an easy, small power, and then they're gonna fight amongst each other. 3 nations, it's Angola, Indonesia, and wow, Mongolia's still, oh, Mexico just got annexed by, it's Angola. Oh, they're all 3 allied to each other. Okay, let's see where the alliances fall. Indonesia's allying to Mongolia. Is that really the right move? Mongolia, watch out. I mean, that's the right move, Mongolia. Is that the right move on Indonesia? I think Angola was briefly the strongest power, especially because they took out Mexico. They annexed them diplomatically, actually. Mongolia continues to lose land because they keep running out of money and they don't have enough time. There's never enough peace deal for them to rack up much more of their points. They're going to lose stuff, but Indonesia's still keeping them safe somewhat. Indonesia, who pretty much has no land over here. Indonesia is not even feeding Mongolia, interestingly enough. They got 0. The Angolans are moving towards the capital. You need to backstab. Indonesia's going to have to backstab. Oh, they're all 3 friends for now. It's possible one of these 2 annexes each other. It's possible Indonesia annexes Mongolia. Now these 2 are friends. I guess Angola is going to try to diplomatically annex, or maybe the Mongolians just single-handedly take out Indonesia. And it's over. Mongolia has been wiped out. 1 versus 2. Angola has all of the territory, but the money-wise is very close. The back and forth continues to happen in the Indian Ocean, and the fighting. Okay, Indonesia's getting bigger. This is going to be really close, and it is Indonesia in an incredible comeback. Bam! I can't believe it. Once you hide in that corner, you're pretty good, but then again, they were able to defend this crossing. That's key. They didn't necessarily hide in the corner. They were always able to defend against South America, who was constantly trying to get there. Just couldn't be done. Again, please head over to makeship.com to reserve yours today before they're gone forever. Big thanks to my patrons.
You'll find a link in the description down below to support me.
The beautiful Megan Underwood.
Drew, I'm your dad, back with the milk.
Look outside.
A fat
I
normal.
cannot sleep without
Jack
Drew's voice.
Draven's annoying
Amateur
friend.
archaeology.
Carmel
Frederick
S.
Diblin,
Inquisitor
Joey,
Zarius.
John Denver.
Carino is
Luxembourg
best
lover.
girl.
Sebi, if you hear
Robert
this,
E. I love you.
Tambrin,
The Great
the
Ralphie.
Mexican 760. And Zany Boy.